people don't realize, like, I'm not a religious man, but I did go to a Catholic school. And there was the story about, I think it's God. There was a flood, and of course it's God. There was a flood, and these people ran to the top of the roof of their house, and somebody came past in a little, I think it was like a little dinghy or a raft, and they said, hey, jump on. And they were like, no, it's fine. Look, God will save us. Okay. So then the next people come along, and it was like a much bigger boat, and everyone said, look, jump on, what are you doing up there? And they were like, it's fine, God will save us. And then a helicopter turned up and said, look, we'll pass down a ladder, jump up. And they were like, no, it's cool, God will save us. And then the flood consumed them, and they all died, right? Family of four. They went up to heaven, and they marched straight up to the gates and said to God, why didn't you help us? And he said, I sent a raft, a bigger boat, and a helicopter, and you didn't jump on any of them. And I think, I like to say I'm not a religious man, but what a story that is. And I think that's true for law of attraction. I think so many people are looking for the end goal rather than the small goals that might be coming to them.
Hey, women, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo. Maybe I'll love you one day, maybe we'll someday.
Good morning, guys. Apologies if I look a mess. I just woke up, just threw a hoodie on, thought I'd record something that's, you know when you wake up with a thought? I thought I've got to get this video out there. I've been meaning to do videos like this from back in the day for a while. And I thought I'd bring it back to the forefront. So I'm talking about the law of attraction and the truth behind it. Now, after being 27 and hearing about the law of attraction at around about the age of 18, you know, it's given me a good few years to figure this shit out and to understand how this works, or potentially how this works, and then give that to you guys and see what you want to do with it, right? So my initial thought on the law of attraction, let's say my logical thought. So, you know, if you want to step away from the whole voodoo and psychic shit, right, about law of attraction that everybody kind of says is fake, then fair enough, right? And this could be the logical answer. That the law of attraction is nothing more than optimism. You know, you get through, let's put it into two scenarios. You start a business, you want to start a business, and you just, like, it's day 1, day 10, whatever, like the first month. And you put your headphones in, you listen to your favorite song, you close your eyes, you lie down, and you picture yourself in your favorite car with your favorite woman, wearing the perfect clothes, driving through your perfect city, or the city you live in, and everyone can see you. And you picture that. That's not to say that's going to come true, but that's got to give you some serious motivation to keep going and to continue. You know, you got to think, what was the thing I wrote down? Marathons, right? So marathon runners look so tired, especially on that last mile, so tired. Then they get to that, I guess you would call the home straight in a marathon, and they see that 200-300 meter, you know, long finish line. They can see it in the distance. There it is. They start running quicker. Right? And I know it's because they're thinking to themselves, well, there's not long left. I might as well just use whatever I've got in the tank to finish this race, get the best time. Maybe it's a sprint finish with a guy or woman behind you. But I think there's definitely an element of, oh, there it is. That's what I've been running for. And then the brain and the body just says, look, I've got more energy. Let's use it. Let's go. And I think the same thing happens with the law of attraction. I think that if you see what you want to achieve in your mind first, you're more inclined to keep going when things get rough. And you're also more inclined to have more motivation all the time. So not only just in the rough times, but all the time. So I think that's definitely kind of the first component of law of attraction and how all of that works. I just think that's the logical one. I just think that's the logical conclusion. However, and this is where it gets weird, and I can't dispute this. I've got 2 reasons why it might happen. But it's the accuracy of your thoughts. How many people, and I don't know, there might be a million failures out there that we don't hear about for whatever reason, but how many celebrities, people like Drake, people like Rick Ross, will say, I pictured becoming successful in this manner. I pictured this house, this car, this woman, this. I pictured looking this way and doing this. And then they're like, literally step by step is how it went. Or how my life is now is exactly how I pictured it when I was 15 years old. Day after day. Conor McGregor again, he's like, I knocked Eddie Alvarez out exactly how I pictured it in my mind. I had the 2 belts on my shoulder, sat on the top of the octagon, exactly how I pictured it in my mind. And I just find that weird. I just find that really strange, the pure accuracy of what it is. You know, that could be that because you've seen it in your mind a couple of times, you imitate that in real life. Could be what it is. You know, like Mike Tyson getting hypnotized to box. That could be the same thing, where you just picture it so many times, just repetition, routine, so that when you're in that moment, your brain goes to that default mode, reenacts it, and away you go. Or goes, like you become real rich, and then your brain says, remember that car you wanted when you were a kid, you go and buy it, and then you sit there and you think, shit, this is exactly what I envisioned when I was 15 years old. That could be as basic as it is, and we just call it law of attraction. But I remember, like, this is the spooky thing, though. I remember as a kid, not as a kid, maybe 21, 22, I really wanted a Porsche Panamera. Really wanted one. I went to Paris. I don't know if you guys remember, we documented it with my 2 best mates at the time. All I saw was Panameras. Everywhere. Every car was a Panamera. Then when I came back to the UK, I lived in a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. Tiny little town. Nobody has any money apart from like celebrities who might move there to make it stay, you know, it's real quiet and beautiful. But I was walking up the road and I saw a Panamera. I was like, I haven't seen one. Maybe I haven't been looking for one, but I was quite a car geek. I'm sure I would have been like, what's that? Especially as it was on my road. And I just saw this Panamera and I just thought that, like, after a week of picturing it all the time, me driving one, there's a Panamera. And I find that weird. And I know that they've tested brainwaves. And brainwaves can like pass through materials and stuff. And your thoughts do actually have power. When you think them, they do go out into the universe. And I know that sounds crazy. But they've done experiments where they actually do have power. And they can pick them up on machines outside of like steel walls. I think they might have been telling porkies, but from what I've seen, that actually happened. So when you think that, it's crazy because it sends you in the other direction of like, I'm thinking about it and then it arrives. And that brings me on to my next point. I think if that is true, here's the problem with the law of attraction for a lot of people. They want to picture a Bugatti and then an Arab billionaire says, do you know what? I've never had any kids. I'm about to die. Here's 20 billion and take my Bugatti too. It's never going to work like that. Like, let's be honest. People don't realize, I'm not a religious man, but I did go to a Catholic school. And there was the story about I think it's God. There was a flood. And of course it's God. There was a flood. And these people ran to the top of the roof of their house and somebody came past in a little, I think it was like a little dinghy or a raft, and they said, hey, jump on. And they were like, no, it's fine. Look, God will save us. Okay. So then the next people come along and it was like a much bigger boat, and everyone said, look, jump on. What are you doing up there? And they were like, it's fine. God will save us. And then a helicopter turned up and said, look, we'll pass down a ladder, jump up. And they were like, no, it's cool. God will save us. And then the flood consumed them and they all died, right? Family of 4. They went up to heaven and they marched straight up to the gates and said to God, why didn't you help us? And he said, I sent a raft, a bigger boat, and a helicopter, and you didn't jump on any of them. And I think, like I said, I'm not a religious man, but what a story that is. And I think that's true for law of attraction. I think so many people are looking for the end goal rather than the small goals that might be coming to them. That's if law of attraction works that way. I'm going through each component here that it could possibly be. And if the law of attraction does work that way, where you think about it and then it sends something your way, then that's what you need to be looking for. So let's say, for example, you're a professional DJ or something. You watched my video yesterday. The TikTok thing, had to make $1 million from TikTok very easily and quickly. And you think, okay, I'm going to buy some music software. I'm going to get into this game. I'm going to start making money off it. But damn, what I need is like 15,000, 20,000 to buy a room about this size, put a music studio in there, pad all the walls, recording software. It's going to cost me about 15, 20 grand. Damn, how am I going to get that money? About 2 weeks later, somebody approaches you and says, you've got a great voice. You could do sales. You'd have a great sales job. And you're like, well, no, I don't really want to be in sales. I don't see myself as a corporate guy. I'm more of a creative. I want to go down this music route, and they're like, yeah, but, you can make good money here. And you're like, yeah, but I don't want to get stressed in the finance world or making calls or sales or recruitment, whatever it is. That's not my industry. I don't want to be in it. Thanks, but no thanks. I think that's law of attraction right there. I think that's the fuck up. Is that sales job, if you took it, might have earned you so much commission that you could then afford that studio and go on to achieve massive success. I think that's what happens. If that is the way it works, as in law of attraction is real, that's what I mean. That I think you want stuff and then these tiny little ladder rungs come along and they say, look, do you want to take a step? Here's your opportunity. Completely unrelated. You're going to have to figure this shit out yourself, but this ties into this. When Steve Jobs did that speech to the university kids or the college kids, and he said that looking forward, it's impossible to know where you're going, but looking back, you can connect the dots. And I think once you've achieved success, you look back and you go, oh, if I hadn't have done that, that, and that, I wouldn't have met that person, wouldn't have done that, and that wouldn't have happened. Law of attraction. It kind of makes sense looking back. My final theory, and don't think I'm weird, but Elon Musk, a bunch of billionaires, a bunch of the smartest people on the planet all think that the simulation theory is real. They all think that all of this that we live in now is a simulation. It's just computer code. Somebody's created it. We're living in it. And, it's just an advanced level that we can possibly comprehend. And they have some decent evidence for it, apparently. Elon Musk truly believes it. Now, if that's true, and this is crazy. This is a crazy theory, but I've always thought that the law of attraction resembles a Google search. It's very close to cookies, Google searches, and suggestions and stuff. So you think about something like, I really want a Porsche Panamera. It's like a Google search, right? Porsche Panamera. Type it in. Next week, Google starts, and Google returns you the results. So it says, here's Panamera. So you start seeing them more. And then your cookie starts identifying it. And your cookie starts saying, when you're on the internet, you search something and then you go on YouTube and you got an ad for that exact product. That feels very much like the law of attraction, where it's like, here's your opportunity to go and buy that thing. Here's another one. So I thought about Panameras, the Google search. I go to Paris, I see like 10 of them. And I start getting opportunities to make more money so that I can eventually buy one. And it's just, I just think it's very resemblant of that whole setup. And I've gone way deeper in this before. I've had like high discussions with friends where I've said like, this resembles a Google search, this resembles the internet, this resembles this and this and this. And when you think about it on a deeper level, if we are in the simulation theory, that kind of makes sense, where you're just kind of putting that Google search out there and it's returning you what you want. And then you see more of that thing because the algorithm goes, oh, is that what you want? Oh, okay, here we go. And then they start sending you events and stuff and opportunities and whatever to go and see more of that car or more of that thing that you've searched. So I searched Gymshark recently, and then I got a banner ad that came up, and it said, it's open now actually, there's a store in London just opened. And they said our grand opening started on Friday, just gone. And, I wouldn't have had that ad, I wouldn't have known about that had I not searched Gymshark. And I'm probably going to go down there and film a project at some point and just be like, look, here's the new store, it's opened, what you guys doing? If they've got some classes going on or some fitness models there, do some interviews. I wouldn't have got that piece of content had I not done the original Gymshark search. And that just feels very much like a law of attraction, Google, internet kind of simulation theory connection. I told you it was crazy, guys. But that's kind of like a way out there theory that one day might be proved right. I might be locked away for this in a fucking sectioned asylum. But the first two that I was talking about, where I think definitely the optimism, tick that box. Like, it is undoubtable that you're going to think about something you want. You're going to see it in your head first, And then it's going to motivate you more and give you more optimism about what could potentially become in the life you could have. That's a given, right? The accuracy part of it, where it returns, opportunities to get to that next step, I don't know if that's true, but you can't ignore it. Because like I said, if you were trying to start a studio and somebody offers you a sales job, switch your mind on, guys. Think about it. Commissions. I can make a lot of money. 2 years sacrifice. I'm in. Bang. Career takes off. That's, I think, what people miss with the law of attraction. The action part that comes with it. Optimism, motivation, action. All these things combined together, and, not missing the opportunities. That story that I told, the God story, the Bible story, that epitomizes for me the law of attraction, and always has. The simulation theory, do what you want with that, whatever. It's just some crazy theory I came up with when I was high and drunk once. But it's interesting, right?
Women, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo. Maybe I'll love you one day. Maybe we'll someday grow. Till then, I sit my